Mishina to Blido will be through. And we had seen their work. So the question is, are we ready for that?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I have been to Myanmar many times, and I have been to many of the projects where China has been implementing in various parts of Myanmar, especially when it comes to the border trade and also the construction of highway, east-west corridor, and so on and so forth, and also interacted with the Indian officials as well as the Myanmar officials. And as Sir has also mentioned about, now you see what is happening in Myanmar when we talk about the project which are being sponsored by China. Many of these projects in China are the completion rate, in terms of, many of the projects, could complete in very, carried out in a good pace. So as a result of that, now if you compare with the various projects implemented by India inside Myanmar also, for instance, especially various connectivity schemes and the projects under the Act East policy, we can see a very contrast between the Chinese project and then the Indian project. So that is very, very visible in our, say. And so as a result of that, say, for instance, in Myanmar, several Myanmarese scholars, they don't see any hope in what is today known as the, Thailand, Myanmar, India trilateral highway, because many of these, the various portion of this highway, many are, there are several things that has to be, most of the work has been delayed for various reasons. So as a result of that, when it comes to various developmental project, strategic project inside Myanmar, if you compare with China, with that of India, so I think, as many scholars have also written, that the China has gone far ahead. And now, say for instance, when we talk about the border trade, say border trade between Myanmar and India, or say the trade between Myanmar and Thailand, and then the Myanmar and China, the way this trade has progressed, it's like a very modern day, the trade that they have already established in those borders. But it is not so in our case. Say, let's say in Manipur, that More, the trade hardly exists there, except for some informal trade here and there. Same is in the case of Mizoram. So therefore, we need to learn a lot from and another thing that which I observe is that, because you see, the perception of the Myanmarese intellectuals and officials towards China and India is also very different. So this is also which we observe whenever we go to Myanmar for field work, when we visit, So this could be for many other reasons also. This is number one, and as Har has also highlighted, say in the case in our side of the border, various developmental activities, border area development programs, which has been going on for a number of decades. So, and some of these projects are taken up by BRO, that border roads organizations. And if you look at the Niti Aayog reports, because no one can give their judgment on BRO, but it was the Niti Aayog which has highlighted various loopholes in the functioning of the BRO. So as a result of that, now we have a specialized highway development agency, which is known as the National Highway Infrastructure Development Limited. So these things, but having said that, in Myanmar case, the various development projects, most of in the Indian project, especially when I'm talking about the connectivity projects, the Chinese have gone very far ahead in many of these activities.
So, coming to Dr. Zulfikar Mirza, Zulfikar Rahman, both Nepal and Bangladesh are heading towards Western-friendly government, it looks like, although Nepal is too fresh at this moment, at the cost of China. Do you see this as an opportunity or a barrier for India and the Northeast? I'm talking about Bangladesh and Nepal. Looks like they are going for a Western-friendly government.
I think that our neighborhood first policy that is in place, that needs to be seen in that context of how we are dealing with Bangladesh and Nepal. A lot of the kind of incidents that have happened in the recent past in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and also in Nepal, it is somewhat to be said that we have to reimagine our relations with our neighborhood. We can say that we are a kind of a leader of the global south, but before we can actually say that we are a leader of the global south, we also have to show that we are able to actually build upon the traditional goodwill that we have with our neighboring countries. The goodwill was there with Myanmar, with Bangladesh, with Bhutan, it still is with Bhutan, and with Nepal. But that kind of goodwill, how do we really make that the building block of our foreign policy? And that is very, very important in terms of how the visioning happens and how it goes forward. I feel that the need of the hour for India is to actually be able to reimagine the borders and be able to put effective solutions, to be able to lift the border at some point and put the solution and put the border back, because we cannot wish that the borders will go away tomorrow. The borders are there to stay, and we cannot choose our neighbors. But the point is this, that we can really engage with them through meaningful dialogue. And coming to the question earlier on China, I feel that if there is more cooperation between transboundary rivers, between China and India, it could actually have a spillover effect on the boundary dispute as well. And if there is a
you're talking about rivers?
Even transboundary rivers, yes. The Yalung Sangpo, Brahmaputra, and also rivers between Nepal and India, between Bangladesh and India, all of these rivers, the dialogue on rivers, the negotiations on rivers can have a spillover effect on bilateral relations, and that also can be an entry point by which we can actually see the ecological interdependencies, build that as a building block for again building that goodwill back. You know, Nepal is dependent on India on many layers, not only politically but also ecologically. So we also have to see those alternative lenses by which these entry points can be explored and build on those building blocks, and then see that, I hope that I'm sure that the goodwill will come back. You know?
I'm running out of time, actually. I have one more questions to you before I open up the, could see so many questions. I hope I can take it as much as possible. My question to you, China has decided to withdraw the support to all the northern Myanmar rebels, including, I could see, Wa State, which is basically giving the support to Alpha and others. Also, I could see in the news report when the Prime Minister was visiting that China was lifting curbs on Indian rare art imports. Also could see some kind of news about that India's people, India's experts are trying to reach out to northern Myanmar, the possibility of extracting or quality of testing the rare art. And you know rare art is so much of importance in EV and all mobiles. Is there something cooking, sir? So many big developments, roads, rare art, lifting, import, carbon, the northern Myanmar and all the insurgent force. Something is cooking, sir?
The northern Myanmar itself is populated by or controlled by the ethnic armed groups. So China has an interest in keeping the ethnic armed groups in good humor, because the China-Myanmar economic corridor runs through that areas which are controlled by these ethnic armed groups. So whether it is Wa State or Kachin State, or all these areas have got a certain internal dynamics or complexities. wherein we see China not only engaging with these armed groups which are fighting the Myanmar army, they are also in cohort with the Myanmar army as well. So the businesses are going on, and what exactly is going to pan out, it's very difficult at this point of time to predict. But definitely northern Myanmar, not only northern Myanmar, in fact that entire connectivity up to the port is of interest to China, and definitely they are trying to push in for more infrastructure development so that they can exploit this region, as also get in those rare earth material which is actually rare in this world, and they are very extremely important. And while at this, I would also like to make a mention about, just a short mention about the Lido Road, which you talked about.
Yes, sir.
That Lido-Pangsao Road has a strategic importance because the northernmost region of India-Myanmar border, most of us are not aware, is not demarcated, and which leads on to the tri-junction between India, Myanmar and China.
Near Walong.
Near Walong. So that's an area. Is this road going to impact and create one more flashpoint between India and China of that undemarcated tri-junction between India, Myanmar and China? That's another area we have to wait and watch.
Thank you, sir.
यूं ही नहीं ताज बन जाता है। शिल्पकारों का हुनर और चुनिंदा संगमरमर ताज को नायाब बनाते हैं। कुछ ऐसे ही चुनिंदा जगहों से बस खास ही चुनकर लाता हूँ। कतरे कतरे को मैं हीरे सा परखता हूँ। कभी कोई समझौता नहीं करता हूँ।